So let's move over to the comedy side on TBS. We have just three things really quickly. We have Your Family of Mine, Angie's Tribeca, and Buzzies. Julia, Your Family of Mine.
Your Family of Mine has actually a badass cast with Richard Dreyfuss and Joe Beth Williams starring in it.
Yeah.
Now the main leads are Kat Foster and Kyle Howard. Kat Foster you might know from Till Death, and Kyle Howard from My Boys. This is actually written by Ground Floor creator. I love Ground Floor. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. Also on TBS, I believe. Ground Floor creator and Friends alum Greg Malins. This is actually based on an Israeli format. And this is... What?
I know it feels and looks like Modern Family-ish, but people realize it's an Israeli show already.
Yes. So this is centering on this married young couple who is Kat Foster and Kyle Howard, and it's sort of going along the premise of you don't just marry a person, you marry their entire family.
Right.
So each episode they're going to bounce back and forth between each spouse's family,
right,
and sort of how you deal with them, how you have to put up with them, and all the comedy of errors that ensues with that, as we all know.
Sure.
And love.
Nando, want to tell us about Angie's Tribeca?
Angie Tribeca.
Angie Tribeca.
Not Angie's, but Angie.
I have Angie's. Angie Tribeca.
Angie Tribeca. Yes, absolutely. Angie Tribeca is...
More New York stuff for you.
More New York. It's not really New York because it's part of the LAPD.
Oh.
But Tribeca is a town in New York, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's Tribeca's in the thing. Is that her last name, Tribeca?
Her last name's Tribeca. Her
Okay.
first name, by the way,
Miss
is, spoiler alert, is Angie.
Oh,
that's her
so
first
it's
name.
Angie Tribeca.
Angie Tribeca.
Got it.
Played by the phenomenal, beautiful, stunning, amazing, I can't say anything else right now, but I would love to say more, Rashida Jones, who is
Rashida
fabulous.
Jones.
This is a premises based on, this was brought up by Steve and Nancy Carell, so they came up with this premise. And she is a detective for the LAPD for the RHCU unit. I guess it's called, it stands for Really Heinous Crimes Unit. And as you can imagine, it's a comedy. It's on TBS. It looks incredibly.
Is that near the stalker unit?
It looks incredibly funny, and I think the fact that Steve and Nancy Carell are the showrunners, it allows them to bring a lot of their friends on board, and they have a lot of good actors. Steve Carell came from improv, doing Second City and all that, so obviously we see a lot of comedians in there, and a lot of good people, even in the pilot. Besides, well, first of all, Rashida Jones's parents are played by her real life parents, which are Quincy Jones and Peggy Lipton.
Yeah.
So they're in the pilot.
That's cool.
Yeah, but also in this pilot, you have Alfred Molina, you have Gary Cole, you have Jerry Burns. So, you know.
Lisa Kudrow.
Yeah, Lisa
wow.
Kudrow's in it.
Yeah.
So
Heavy hitters.
There's a lot of heavy hitters in here. So obviously, Steve's calling up all his friends. Steve and Nancy are calling up their friends. And it has a bit of a police squad feel to it, which I like. So, I mean, you might think of it like with Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Nine-Nine,
Yeah, but it's a little bit more to me like a police squad feel to it with Rashida in the lead. And it looks really cute.
It's going to be silly. It's going to be tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
And like, there's a great shot in the preview where there's, the guy's doing a huge backflip and then the stunt double jumps off one side, he jumps out the other. I mean,
that's very funny.
and
I think
love
that
this idea.
the last thing is Rashida Jones is freaking hilarious.
She's
Some people
hilarious.
don't realize
Really
that
is.
she's actually got some comedy chops.
Yeah.
she's great in Parks and Rec, and so we're really excited about this as well. Joe, tell me about Buzzies. Great title.
Buzzies is basically, this is going to be it's an interesting idea. Show cast includes Ashley Tisdale, Mike Castle, Lauren Lapkus, Ryan Pinkson, Matt Cook, and George Wendt. Basically, what they're doing here is it's a barbershop that is having financial trouble, and basically it sounds like it's kind of like Central Perk, but it's a barbershop and no one ever leaves. So so that is basically the show, is we follow everybody that's at the barbershop, in and around the barbershop. George Wendt, cheers. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
He has many.
Norm.
Norm is back on TV. This comes from David Cohen and Max Muchnick from. Now these are the guys who created Will and Grace.
Yep.
So I have high hopes. It looks interesting.
I thought you didn't like it.
I'm
I'm putting you on the spot.
I want to. I think it's going to
Okay.
be. It's going to be a stretch if it works.
The Will and Grace guys are funny, and they've got a great. They've created one of the funniest shows and most creative shows in history. So I like to think that this may be good, but I was a little.
And sometimes though with those previews, you don't know.
Yeah, you
Maybe
don't know.
it might just be an
You don't know.
edit.
Okay.